Night was the hardest. Daytime still allowed distractions, errands, faces, noise. But at night, the house remembered him. The empty chair, the untouched pillow, the silence that pressed against her chest. She thought loneliness would kill her instead. One night in the quiet she feared most, she met God. When loss changes the shape of time, grief does not arrive like a storm. It settles like fog, minutes stretch, nights expand. Silence becomes heavy. Time no longer moves forward, it circles. The first morning alone, the first morning without him, felt unreal. His absence was louder than his presence had ever been. She waited for a sound that never came. A house. Did echoes rooms change after loss? Walls seem farther apart. Furniture looks abandoned. The house became a witness to her solitude. Widowhood is not just loss, it is relearning. She did not only lose her husband, she lost routine, shared language, the future she assumed. Widowhood forces relearning everything alone. The loneliness, others don't see people visited. They brought food, spoke kindly, but loneliness remained untouched. Loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the absence of being known. Evenings without refuge, evenings without rest. Evenings once brought rest. Now they brought dread. That she delayed sleep, afraid of the quiet. The bed became too large. The bed felt wrong, too wide, too cold. She slept on the edge, as if shrinking herself. Memory, as both comfort and wound memories, arrived uninvited. A laugh, a gesture, a shared silence. They comforted and reopened the ache. Faith after loss feels fragile. Faith did not disappear, but it trembled. Prayer felt awkward, as if spoken into empty space. Questions she never asked before. Why him? Why now? Why this silence? She had no answers, only nights. The loneliness of being strong. She was praised for strength, but strength isolated her. No. One asked how she was at night. Darkness, as companion darkness, stopped being the enemy. It became company. The night listened when no one else did. When tears run out, there comes a moment when tears exhaust themselves. Pain remains, but quieter. That silence frightened her. The night that changed everything. It was not dramatic. No vision, no voice, just a night heavier than the rest. A whispered prayer. She did not know what to say, so she said nothing profound. God, are you still here? God meets us where we are, did not demand strength. He did not hurry grief. He met her in the night she hated, the presence she did not expect. Nothing changed outwardly, but something shifted inwardly. The silence felt held, not answers. Presensiger did not explain the loss. He did not fix the future. He stayed. The difference between being alone and being abandoned. She realized something subtle. Loneliness is real, but abandonment is not. God had not left. Night became sacred. No longer mocked her. It became a place of encounter, a quiet sanctuary. Learning to sit without fear, she stopped fighting the quiet. She sat within it, breathing, listening. Grief without panic. Grief remained, but panic softened. She learned she could survive the night, faith. Reframed faith was no longer confidence. It became trust without evidence. God as companion. Not solution. God did not replace her husband. He accompanied her absence. The slow return of sleep came gradually, not full, but enough. Mornings felt. Different mornings still hurt, but they no longer terrified. Night had taught her endurance, a widow's. New strengths was no longer performance, it was presence. Rediscovering. Identity. She was not only someone's wife, she was still herself, seen, known. Loneliness, transformed loneliness, did not vanish. It changed form. It became longing, not despair, compassion born from solitude. She noticed others, quiet ones, forgotten ones. Loneliness taught her empathy. Faith without certainty. She stopped demanding clarity. She learned to trust darkness, God's timing. As gentle, God did not rush her healing. He honored her pace. Nights still come, some nights were harder. Faith did not erase fluctuation, but she was no longer alone. On the hardest nights she was accompanied. Loss does not define the end. Loss reshaped her life. It did not end today. Deeper knowing. She knew God, nowned intellectually, but intimately. For those who sit alone at night, if the night feels unbearable, God meets people there, not in noise, but in stillness, not always in miracles, but in presence. The night that once crushed her, the night no longer crushed her. It became holy ground, the final truth. She was a widow crushed by loneliness. That was real, but she met God at night, and in that meeting she learned, loneliness may visit, but she is never abandoned.